Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. Here's another Walking Dead video. I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that has been released over the last few days that I haven't had a chance to get to. A lot of interesting new looks at Part B, and I do just want to say I do think that the last 16 episodes anyways will be really big, but I have noticed a lot more excitement for The Walking Dead in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I really feel like those bonus episodes really killed the momentum, because I think all of the hype, going back to season 10B, it was pretty much on par with where the show's always kind of been, with season 8, 9, and 7, whatever. There was always this excitement all the time, and then all of a sudden we get this big delay where there was no filming. They postponed that very last episode of season 10 until October, and I think that really did kill a lot of spirit and a lot of momentum that the show had because, I think after Rick left, not even that, once Angela Kang took over, there was a lot of momentum built there that I think was lost because of that big, huge break there. And yes, it's not only that, obviously certain parts of the story were sort of thrown off and not as exciting and etc. But it definitely had a very big impact, and then we get those 6 bonus episodes, which looking back at it, there's some that I obviously really like, but we really did not need those episodes. And I really feel like if anything, it kind of tainted The Walking Dead a little bit, at least for just a little bit early last year, because going into season 11A, it was exciting because it was official Walking Dead content. It wasn't bonus episodes, but you had to regain that momentum, and it was really rough. Obviously, we saw in season 11, I think a lot of people weren't really feeling it. People were excited. There were some really good episodes here and there. My favorite ones were episode 3, Hunted, and episode 6, On the Inside. I thought those episodes were really great. The 2-part premiere I thought was actually really exciting. Some really shocking Maggie and Negan stuff. But other than that, a lot of it had such a weird tone. And I do think with what's generally going to happen in episode 9, it's going to be a really big event episode. It's going to be the conclusion to all of that. We are now starting to ramp up a little bit. We are now starting to see all of this excitement. And I'm seeing it just in general with the fan base right now, which is really exciting because honestly, it's been a long time. Literally, it's been 2 years. And 2 years might not be that long in general, but for a fan base with a show waiting for some really good content, it is a very long time. And so I'm very excited with where the show's going. I think the direction is absolutely perfect. I really believe that it is the natural next step of the story, right? If you're going to end the show, how do you end an apocalyptic story? Well, there's a lot of ways people have done it over the years and over the decades, but The Walking Dead is doing this where they found a community that has been basically normal from the beginning, has laws, politicians, job professions, and a lot of those type of things, that we have in our world. And so it's basically getting back to a sense of normal and being like, can we even live like this? Do I even like to live like this? Or am I kind of thankful the apocalypse happened? It's the natural next step in all this. And I know they're going to have spin-offs. There's all those other TV shows. The Walking Dead's not technically ending, but I think in terms of the overall story for the show, I actually think it's 100% perfect. Anyways, I rambled there a little bit, but definitely if you are new here and you want all my Walking Dead content, then make sure to be a subscriber. The show is returning in 19 days, which is super soon. That's 2.5 weeks. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out very soon in terms of the reviews and all of that for episode 9 and episode 10 as well. Episodes 9 and 10 are going to be very big episodes because episode 9 is going to, there's going to be a lot of tragedy there. I really do believe that we're going to see the deaths of, I don't know about Gracie, that's sort of an idea that's out there just because of something that could go on with Aaron, cause whatever, but definitely Alden and Leah. They're doing a big time jump after that, so it kind of makes sense that when they come back in episode 10 that it's been some time since those characters have died, that they've kind of moved on a little bit. There's going to be some remnants of that, blah, blah, blah. So 2 really big episodes 9 and 10. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of episodes 5 and 6 of season 9, where obviously episode 5 ended, a big story there with Rick, and then 6 did this big time jump where it sort of rebooted everything. That's basically kind of what's happening here, but on a smaller scale. We're going to end this Reaper arc, this sort of aftermath of the Whisperer arc, because we're kind of in that still. With Alexandria being in the position that it's in, we're sort of in the aftermath of the Whisperer War because they went in, completely destroyed Alexandria, and they're just kind of in this place where it's what do we do now, right? How do we rebuild? The Whisperers destroyed everything, and then they dealt with the Reapers, blah, blah, this and that. I do think in this situation, a time jump is very much needed because you sort of reset it a little bit, right? And it's only several weeks, so it's not like anything too crazy. If it was like 2 or 3 years, I'd be like, what the hell's going on here? And so, I mean, yeah, definitely I'm really excited for episodes 9 and 10. I also wanted to mention, if you haven't followed me on any of my social medias, definitely go do so. I would like to hit, it would be cool anyways, but I'm almost at 2,000 Twitter followers and 4,000 Instagram followers, so it'd be really cool to hit that. I'm also extremely active on there. I'm going to be more active on Instagram now, but if you want to be a part of the Walking Dead community a little bit more, you know, like I am, like, again, I'm very, very active on there. I tweet stuff about the show all the time. We're doing countdowns. We're actually doing a really cool madness bracket thing that is almost over. I think there's about a week left, a few days left. And so, yeah, anyways, I guess if you're interested, you'll join. But like, I do want to get into some of these photos here. We have this one here, and there's a lot of Eugene and Princess, because obviously I think the Stephanie missing storyline will be, I mean, it's not going to be a big storyline, but obviously it's a very important one, because it connects to the corruption of the Commonwealth. You know, that's going to connect a lot with what Magna is going through, a lot of what Carol's going through, and then stuff with Daryl if he is arrested by the Commonwealth. You know, our characters are going to have all these separate storylines, I think, that sort of connect to the Commonwealth are pretty messed up, which is why the riots and the protests and all that are going to start at the end of this season, or end of part 2. And then, you know, that's where things are going to get really insane. But yeah, really cool shot here of Eugene and Princess. Obviously, they're at this point, they're very worried that something has happened to, I guess, Stephanie, right? To him, it's Stephanie, it's the real one. So then we have this cool shot of Carol, which I just absolutely love this. Like, this is what I mean by there definitely is going to be a time jump, because they spend several weeks here, right? I will say I'm okay with them doing that. What I want, though, is I want to see their initial reactions going there. You know, I really want to see that. I don't want them to miss out on that. I don't want it to be a thing where we see the Commonwealth arrive in Alexandria or something. They have a couple discussions, and then basically it's several weeks later, and then they're living like this. I want to see all of their initial reactions to actually showing up there and being like, what the hell is this place? And then, you know, sort of being interrogated, this and that, and then it's like, oh, this is whatever. And then you can kind of do it, you know, and then you could show how they've adapted so far in the last however long. I think that's really important. I want to see their initial reactions. I don't want to see what has been like. If they do that, I really will be disappointed with that. But yeah, really cool shot of Carol here. And then we have Daryl, and this is obviously post-time jump because he has that sweater on. I do think all the shots of him like pre-time jump, he's wearing his like iconic wing vest. And we do have a shot of Daryl in the wing vest arriving to the Commonwealth, sort of looking around. So we know that we're going to get some variation of that, right? We are going to see them show up there. It's just how much once they are there. At this point, Daryl has joined the military. Obviously, that's sort of the I guess the position he was given by the Commonwealth. You know, he got all his credentials. He was probably told, you got to live out here, this and that, and you're going to be a soldier. And I think Daryl's going to be pretty pissed off about that and basically leave. Because if he's there and then we see shots of him with Maggie at the hilltop later on, like, you know, I don't think the Commonwealth want him to leave. They're probably like, no, you got to stay here. We're keeping tabs on everybody. You're not allowed to leave this place, because like that just causes a lot of danger to a lot of people. So I do think there's going to be a whole freedom issue there. And I think Daryl's just like, screw this place. I'm leaving. You know, I see everybody here. They're happy. I'm really happy for Judith. I'm really happy for like really just everyone here that's sort of benefiting from things, you know, but he's going to be like, no, but screw this. This really is not for me. And then we have this shot of Mercer, who in my prediction is actually looking for Daryl. I love that axe right there. Holy shit. That just looks amazing. And not even that, the vehicle, like that is so zombie proof. It's insane. And then we have this shot of Magda, which obviously she's a waitress. I mean, she's been doing this for a while now. She clearly just by her expression does not like it, which we know in this scene she's going to be meeting with Yumiko. I kind of think this is from like episode 10, just because I think in 10 it's going to feel shocking how much the show feels different and feels very much like season 1, when they were all basically kind of looked normal, and then all of a sudden there were zombies everywhere, right? It was like, whoa, you have all these normal people just all of a sudden in an apocalypse, and it was really fascinating to see how they coped with all of it. Now it's basically the reverse, right? Like you have all these people who are so used to the apocalypse now thrown in a position like this. And it's like, we have a really cool shot of Connie here. I mean, she is with Kelly. I think she's probably looking at Kelly here because it's a very similar shot when they're outside. She's with the Commonwealth. I think this is probably from episode 10 as well. With this shot of Negan, this is from episode 9. Nothing really going on here. This shot of Princess, again, talking with Eugene, probably Stephanie related. And then the final shot here of Pamela Milton. This is Lance Hornsby in the pink coat here. I believe the person in front of Lance Hornsby is the real Stephanie, or maybe it's somebody else. I don't know. I do believe the person in the back, like you can kind of see a little bit here. I do believe that's Sebastian Milton. Honestly, that's one of those things I'm really excited about. I really can't wait to see the dynamic between them two. It's going to be interesting to see how Pamela Milton and Sebastian just in general interact. Because I think it's going to be something that like really, it's going to show a lot about like who Pamela Milton is kind of in general. And it's going to draw a lot of parallels between Maggie and her son. And obviously, as of now, I don't see anything wrong with the way Maggie's raising her son. So like, I don't know if it's going to be really much of an issue, but then again, like in the comic, there was nothing wrong with the way she was raising her son, right? It was that big time jump where we later on saw that, oh shit, he turned out to be an asshole. He literally turned out to be Sebastian Milton. So it's possible Maggie's fine right now, but you know, if you jump forward 20 years, once she does take over Pamela Milton's position and becomes the leader of everything, I do wonder where that is going to go. And it is pretty crazy, I will say. Like, Maggie most likely is going to be the leader of the Commonwealth, of Alexandria, of Hilltop, literally the president of everything. I think that is actually really insane because obviously they've been teasing that for a long time, but I really do like all the nods. Like, I know Rick said that to Maggie in season 8, I believe, early on, where he's like, maybe it was late season 7, but he was like, you know, like you're basically, you're the true leader. You know, we've all been following me and look where it got us. I'm following you now. And it's kind of crazy to think that Maggie in the end is going to be like this big leader, but they've been kind of setting this up for a very long time. And like seasons and seasons ago, this has always sort of been a thing. I mean, Rick became the leader just because, I mean, in the beginning, I think he was like, you know, he wanted to take charge a little bit. He was like, no, I believe in this. I want to do this. Sometimes you had the whole Rick dictatorship thing, right? I guess fans call it the Ricktatorship. But I do think overall, you know, I don't think he ever really wanted to be the leader. I think that it was just sort of, for the most part, thrown upon him. He always did what was right. You know, I do believe that he's very, very obviously outspoken. He believes what he believes, but I don't think he's a natural leader. He's obviously made so many mistakes in a lot of things, right? He's just kind of learned here and there, like, oh, okay, I guess you can't rule through fear, right? Or like, I guess maybe I shouldn't be doing this sort of thing. And then sometimes it led to people's deaths, or like Alexandria's walls would come down, or like just things in general would kind of happen. And like, I'm not saying Maggie's perfect either. You know, like Maggie definitely has her issues as well, but she obviously is more of a natural born leader. Rick is in some way, but I really do feel like it's just sort of, it's for Maggie, you know? You can tell, like, Maggie is a leader in general. She wants to lead. She wants to be the president, basically, you know? Like, that's sort of her whole thing. And I think Rick definitely, that's not really his whole thing. If he had the choice, I think he would just let it all go. But people look up to him. He's sort of forced to do that. I mean, that was the whole thing in season 9. Anyways, I'm definitely really excited. Again, The Walking Dead is returning in 19 days on February 13th on AMC+, and then on February 20th if you watch it on cable. And yeah, I'm super excited. So post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.